Okay, I want a horse. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I want a horse. I've been a repressed horse girl for too long, which, you know, really any amount of time is too long, but for sure, the amount of time that I've had to live my life without horses and being a horse girl is too long, so I'm not gonna repress it anymore. So we're gonna be a cute little horse girl starting with the shirt that I'm wearing. Let me just... Okay, it has a horse on it so that you know that I'm a horse girl. Yes, I just dropped stuff when I got up. Also, I just woke up from having some sort of episode. I thought I was gonna have a full-on episode of just pain and have like an explosive night. And I thought it was gonna be like the worst night of my life, and I was alone. And at the same time, all of a sudden, my body decided I couldn't stay awake. It was like, go to sleep. You're not a real person anymore. So now I'm trying to fix that. I have woken up and I'm feeling fine, which is not normal. Like, I don't usually start an episode and it just goes away, no matter how many times I thought that that was gonna happen all growing up and did try to just like sleep it off, or, you know, maybe it'll go away when I'm older. No. So now I've got myself a big heated thingy thing, which funny enough still doesn't feel hot enough. Heating bottle and ice, which for me and my hypermobility, which is usually the cause of my pain, I use heat, ice, a lot of hydration, and movement, because my muscles and my tissues need flexibility and looseness and movement, and they need hydration, and my muscles and tissues get that by one, having the hydration to give it, and then two, you need to move things around so it can get in there. And then as far as inflammation and pain, ice and heat. I don't want to do too much of the ice, especially ice, without having heat somewhere else on my body, because my body doesn't keep its temperature very well, so it'll go ahead and drop on down and cause a whole different episode, and we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want to be hypothermic as we're sitting comfy in our house with the heater on. So, all right, we've got some heat on my hip, which is hurting, and we've got some ice on my back. So we'll see if that does anything. And in the meantime, as we're keeping on, let's put some makeup on, because why not? Why not? So as a chronically disabled person, chronically ill and dynamically disabled person, do I believe that my life has been very hard, and I will continue to live a hard life because of my disability and because of all the complications it gives me as far as in my life, in my relationships, in the ability that I have to be a person and function on my own, have my own independence, my financial situation, my ability to work, my marriage, all the things. It impacts my entire life. So do I think that I deserve to be offset with how hard my life has been, is currently, and will be, with like $1 billion, comfort in all of the right places, help, friends and family, and a support group and system that just love and adore me, appreciate me as much as I love and adore and appreciate my people around me that help me now, and my friends and family, and that I should be able to have a plethora of things in life that make life worth living, and a love story for the ages. Whether or not I think I deserve all of those things because of how bad everything else has been and will be, doesn't matter, because that's not how life works. However, going after the things that I do want in life, and the things that excite me, and the things that I can do, and trying to have great relationships, and getting horses if I want them, I can do. And that can be how life works, so I can at least go after it, you know? Now here's the thing that I want to talk to you about, is the thing that I want to talk to myself about. I have been the kind of girl that has been it's not me. It's not for me. Because in my head, the reality is, well, if I want horses, well, then it means that I'm going to need extra help. I'm going to need to have the right exact circumstances, a really good place to keep my horse, like a barn or stable where you lease space and the place so that they take care of your horse, or I'm gonna need to have it on my property but probably still have help. If I want to run a business or do a YouTube channel, should I even spend the time and the effort to do it? Because reality is, I'm gonna need help to set up my camera sometimes, to get out of bed, to edit things, to schedule things, all the things. Should I get married? Should I even be dating? Is it really fair to be in a relationship with someone like that when I am like this? What is that gonna look like as far as 50-50, or me being there when they need me, and then vice versa? what's it really gonna like for someone to be there when I need them? Can they even be there enough as much as I need them to be? Should I have a car? Because I can't drive it half the time, but I also live in the middle of nowhere. I don't live somewhere with public transportation, so how am I gonna get from point A to point B? Could I ever live alone, or at least not in the same building with other people? For a majority of my life, I've lived with other people. Right now, I live in my parents' basement. It's like a basement apartment, and I'm so grateful. But can I ever move out? Should I ever move out? If I move out, do I need to still have someone else in the house so that we still have extra help like we do here now? All of these things have been on my mind since I was a very young child, which breaks my little heart. I could cry right now. I might. Because what 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old should be trying to think about what kind of jobs they're really going to be able to do to take care of themselves and a family that they might have. Should be thinking about what kind of relationships they should be in so that they're nice, healthy, and strong, reliable, and what kind of life that they can lead so that they're not too much on their parents, their friends, on their romantic partner. Yada, yada, yada. You get the point. Let's move on so I cannot cry at this moment. That's not the point of the story. The point of the story is that sometimes I do feel like it's just not for me. It's not for me, and it's not worth the effort. And it's not that I don't think it's worth the effort. It's not worth the effort that someone is going to have to put in, and that I'm going to have to ask for someone else to do that. Now, do I think that things change a little bit when it becomes I am paying for help? You know, like, am I paying for a caregiver? Am I paying for someone to run my business with me? Am I paying for someone to be my assistant and help with my YouTube? Sorry, my unpaid intern that is actually editing this video right now. I love you. I will pay you in kisses. But other than that, does my mind change from just having a friend help me or having to get help to now I'm paying for a service? Yes, it does. It does. And there's a lot that I feel like that says about me and says about society, the world, all the things. But the biggest thing that I want to say is, how realistic is that? How realistic is that I, as a chronically ill, dynamic disabled person, can afford a life where someone helps me do grocery shopping? I mean, you know, Instacart exists now, yay. But let's keep going. Afford for someone to drive me places. Well, we got Uber, Lyft. Do this with you and me here, you know? And on top of that, still be able to afford all of the extra doctor's appointments that I do, all of the doctors and practitioner appointments that are not covered by my health insurance, and all of the extra supplements and way of life things that I have to do, you know, whether or not it's making sure that I have extra support in working out and have that stuff at home, or maybe I need to get massages or something else that is, to be fair, probably not free, but I need to come to me, blah, 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 blah. So how am I, little old me, supposed to create an income for as much as I'm being drained out because of my chronic illness in the first place, and to be able to live a life that helps kind of balance out how hard and uncomfortable my life is, and making sure that I have enough things in it that I want to live for, because a lot of those things also are not free. And in this case, we're talking about horses, and girl, you know, horses are often more expensive than the car just for the horse themselves. Now, in case you don't know, they are expensive. They do cost money on a regular basis to feed them, and you have to get certain things done on a regular basis, like you have to get their little hoofs trimmed. You have to get their teeth filed down, which, you know, sounds awful, to be honest. I don't know why. I don't know how that became a thing, where someone was just like, hey, you know what we should do to these animals all the time? We should just file down their teeth. No, it's good for them. It's necessary, I guess. That's what they say. You know what? This coconut water smells funky to me. I wonder if this is why my tummy was hurting earlier. We're gonna take a small break here, and I'm just gonna go dump this out so that I don't drink it and my husband doesn't drink it and we don't get sick. I was wondering what that smell was. It's not super bad, but it's still like, what's that? What's that? Okay, dude, I wonder if that is what made me feel so sick earlier today, is that coconut water that I was drinking, because I was drinking it earlier. It's been in the fridge. It hasn't been sitting out or anything, but earlier I drank it and I drank it a little watered down. So that's probably why I didn't smell, because it's very faint. It's a very faint smell, but it's there. So now I'm paranoid that I'm gonna have a whole nother episode. I might get sick again because I was just drinking it. You saw me drinking it. You saw me drinking it. So there's a good chance I'm gonna have another upset tummy tonight. Oh, that's gonna stink. And it totally could have been avoided. Oh well. I didn't know. As soon as I realized that's what that was, it's gone. And I'm gonna try to flush it out with some water, and I took some extra probiotics for whatever that's worth. Hopefully it's worth something today. Okay, I guess we'll keep moving on until there's a reason not to. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I want a horsey. So anyways, long story short, I created a side hustle because I do want some horses, and I went ahead and shopped around for horses, horse tack, all the horsey things, any situations that I feel like I would want and need to have horses, so that I could price it out. And also so that I can make a little vision board for myself of like, this is me, this is what I want, you know? I find a vision board to be extremely motivating. And I, despite what it might look like, am very happy to be motivated, especially right now because it is winter. It's winter time, and I'm not saying that I have seasonal depression. I am not so bold as to diagnose myself with a very real condition in this case. But yeah, I could use a little extra umph this time of year. And just in general in life, I feel like I could always just use a little extra umph. That's the whole point of having a life that's worth living, so that you have the umph to live it. So my life is hard. I need more umph than maybe other people need. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not into physics or geometry, but I feel like that's how that works. Anyway, so I have some fun stories that I'm gonna tell. So I don't feel like I look like the typical horse girl, or that I sound like the typical horse girl, or that I am the typical horse girl. But then again, what is that? And I feel like part of being a cowgirl, horse girl, that Western yeehaw, is about the rebellion against the norm, and being like, I'm a horse girl, not like everybody else. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Either way, I think that makes me a horse girl right there. I think the point is that I like to ride horses. I like to be with horses. You don't even have to ride them to be a horse girl, obviously. Why am I over explaining this? You get it. You already know. My first horse I had, and there was a good period that I did not ride. It wasn't necessarily a choice. It was because of my life and my circumstances. My body, I could not physically ride. So I still did other things with her. And can I just say it was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. All those years that people talked about, like, you know, if you can't ride your horse, there's so many other things that you can do. Or if you're not into riding horses, there's all of this like groundwork and connection things. And I was like, nah, I mean, I will because I should, but I don't wanna. And so when I got really, really sick and I could do some stuff, but I could not ride physically, I did do some of that stuff. And you know what? It was great. It was honestly, they were real. They were right. Should listen to people more often. I had a great time. And I just wish that I could do it again right now, right here, but I don't have a horse. So to fix that, we gotta get a horse. That is also part of like the fear and the like, I don't think it's not me. I don't deserve this, / it's just my life. I shouldn't have this. I can't have this, you know? I'm just not the one. Because there are times when I'm not gonna be able to ride. There are times when I'm not gonna be able to go out and have a fun groundwork little thing because of how I'm feeling physically. I'm gonna do the other eye, and I'm gonna be looking over here, but I'm still talking to you. I'm still talking to you, so listen up. And to myself, I would like to say that might be true, that might not be true, that might be something important, it might not be. And to be honest, I already been there, done it. When I had my first horse, I owned my first horse in one of the sickest times I have ever been, and the most unfunctional times I had ever been. So if I can do that then I could probably do it now. And I didn't know that I was going to be that bad off. I had never been that bad off before. I didn't know that that was what was coming for me in my future. But now that I do know that that could happen, I can plan for it. And because I've already kind of lived that situation, like I already have in my mind what I would do differently than I did the first time, and things that I would have done, like have set up ahead of time. Like for instance, I don't come from like the most horsey background and have like a horsey family and things like that. Hey to all the other horse girls who are just like out there soloing it, but not really, because obviously you have me. You can just hit, and then we can be, you know, like hit the follow, subscribe, you know. So when I first got sick and I didn't realize how long it was going to be, how bad it was going to be, I didn't completely know what was happening, to be honest. So I didn't know what to plan for, what not to plan for. I did ask for just like a little help interim to see like, okay, do I need help feeding my horse? Like today I do, which, you know, normally if you're like at a barn or something, maybe they have like a package or a plan that you can buy where they do a lot of the taking care of your horse so that you don't have to. Or there might be other people at the same like little barn place that you are that also have horses that you can ask for help. Great, that's wonderful options. I also had some moments where I had to ask some of my friends and family that are not horsey people, and now looking back, I'm like, and because it wasn't something that I ever thought of ahead of time, I just had to like type out really good instructions and make sure that it was like things that they could do and things that I felt that they could do safely, because I am really into like being better safe than sorry and just being safe and not wanting for me to be in that kind of situation where I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. So is me not knowing what I'm doing going to end up in me getting hurt in some way? I would never want to be in that situation, girl. I'm fragile. So I'm not going to put someone else in that situation unnecessarily. And now I'm like, oh, well, that's something that I can show some of my support people around me ahead of time. Like, one-on-one when I'm doing better, I could be like, hey, come on down and let me just show you the ropes. I can also make a video. I can make a video of like, this is the thing, this is what you grab, this is what you put, and if they need to lead a horse or move it, then this is how you move my horse or whatever. I can make videos and make sure that they already do that, and I can put my horse somewhere where they have one of those packages so that if I go down, I can be like, girl, let me upgrade. Let me upgrade. I need some help. Things like that. So when I had my first horse, I actually moved barns in the middle of me like being in and out of the hospital. I had friends and, you know, but it's like all emergency. So it's not like as smooth and beautiful as you'd love it to be, although I thought it went very smooth and beautifully as it could. And I'm so grateful for that. But I would have rather have been, you know, but this time I can go in it much more prepared for those kinds of things and pick the right barn ahead of time or make sure I have everything set up ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? The other biggest thing that I'm thinking of that I talked about, I don't know if it's really the biggest thing, but sometimes it really does feel like the biggest thing is like the money thing. Because when I first got my horse, we were fine money-wise. We had plenty saved away for emergencies for us and them. However, our life wasn't set up in a way that for me to go down like the way that I did and for my husband to become my caregiver, that we were going to be able to keep everything. We had to, as you know, we slimmed down a lot. We left where we lived. We sold basically almost everything that we had and so on and so forth financially. And we did get some like, you know, disability kind of things. I'm on like long-term care service. So we did get some help. My husband is my caretaker and he is my paid caretaker, but those things take time. And I don't think that they're the most reliable things, to be honest. At some point there was like some scamming. It sounds like insurance fraud by one of the companies. And so we lost out on money there that my husband was supposed to be paid for the work that he did. And you know, there's only so much you can do with lawyers. I think people think like, oh, just get a lawyer. It's not that easy. It's not that fun. And then we've also had the paperwork messed up a couple times where we lost all of our benefits and all of his pay, which is our livelihood at the time. So like all of those things have to be thought of. Plus at the time it was like, okay, now we're switching to these doctors, this and this doctors and this procedure and this stuff is not on health insurance. And girl, that stuff can add up quick. And it can be real big, real expensive. So now one of the things that I wanted to really establish in our life going forward is having the job or the ability within ourselves as people to be able to have work and income at home, which is not how we were set up originally. And then when we lost our benefits and stuff, it was at a time where it was just really hard to find a job. So even if my husband wanted to find another job in the home or out of the home, he couldn't. He tried very hard. I know I also helped and I try very hard. So one of my thoughts is that, yeah, I should do a side hustle that I can do with my horse. That's right. Make my horse make me money. And something that I can talk about 24/7, which is horses. Yes, I could just go on and on and on. And something that I feel like is doable for me, which I know at my worst, well, at my very worst, I couldn't like stand or sit up or walk. So, but I got to the point where I could walk decently-ish, and I was able to hang out, do some groundwork, a little bit of grooming, things like that. And that was just fine. That was more than just fine. It was absolutely divine and fun and a great reason to live. Is it just me, or did I just do like a whole full face of makeup for nothing? I mean, not nothing. I'm gonna do some laundry. So, I mean, is it the craziest night that I've had all year? No. But, you know, something's going on. So, sometimes you just gotta look good for the laundry, my friend. And that's okay. Also, we've been talking and learning about how to make a business and delegate tasks and have other people. And the reality is that with a lot of businesses, even small businesses, it doesn't have to just be one person doing all the work. So if I can make a cute little side hustle that can make in some good money, I can delegate things. I can delegate things and still make money so that even if I go down for a whole week, a whole month, it doesn't mean that my business has to go down. And I love that for me. So that's the plan. And I just like to tell myself, this makes absolutely no sense, but I just like to tell myself that thing of like, it takes a village to raise a baby. Some people say that, some people don't, but if you've ever said that in your life, then hello. It takes a village for me to have a life. Hey, what's up? Hello. I just wanted to give you a little update. I know that I was kind of scared that I was gonna get the sick from drinking that coconut water earlier, but I didn't. So yeah, no tummy pains to speak of. It's hours later. It's the end of, I'm gonna shower, go to bed. It's the end. It's the end for me, and I'm still feeling okay, yay. Because I was anxious and nervous about it, but like normal people, anxious and nervous, what I imagine that to be like, oh, I hope I don't get the sick. I don't want a tummy ache. I've got things to do. I just don't feel like it. I just, But not like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna go through another health thing or flare that gets so bad that I end up in the hospital. No one's able to help me. No one figures out what it is. So ultimately, even if they do get it to subside, stop, I know that I'll probably have it happen again. And I get to walk out with no answers and probably a traumatic experience and someone telling me that, hey, get over it. It's not that big of a deal. We can't help you anyways. It's probably all in your head. You have anxiety. Or you're, you know, a woman with lady parts, and maybe that's why. Anyways, just wanted to give that update. Also, this is the first time that I've worn eyeliner since the last time, which is when I like had a big eyeliner thing for fun, for funsies, for a laugh, for an LOL, a haha on here, and I tried to get it off, couldn't get it off, and I rubbed my face so raw. The pain was, I didn't think I was gonna be able to sleep. I couldn't like lay on this side of my face in the bed, like just the air circulating in the room hitting this side was excruciating. So oops, you know, my bad. I didn't realize that that's the kind of face I was working with. Only I did, and I know better, so yay. That's that. I just wanted you guys to have an update on my life, my traumas, and my lack of traumas, hopefully. Lack of trauma for drinking coconut water, although have I had some since? No. I haven't. I'm sure I just got a bad one. I don't know. You know, those things do happen. One time I got a bad bone broth. Oh my goodness, I was making like a whole house full of people. Yeah, we were on vacation and we got a big house. There was a whole bunch of people in it. It was my turn to make dinner, and I used bone broth in a risotto. The stench filled like all 3 floors. It was despicable. One of the grossest things that I have ever experienced, and I guess that just happens sometimes. We just get a bad one, and that's unfortunate for me. Oh well, I'm glad that bad things smell bad so that I know they're bad. I wish I would have caught it before I took a couple sips earlier of that coconut water. But you know what? You live some, you learn some, you work on your nose. That's fine. Normally, I'm right there with the smeller. I'm right there with the sniffing out the danger and the grossness. But this one time, I just poured it in a cup and diluted it, and it just wasn't as strong. You know. So, I'm gonna take off my makeup, go get ready for bed. Do my little nighttime workout. That's right. I've been trying to get up and move before I eat on my little mat at the end of my bed, and I'm trying to do it before I go to bed now as well. We gotta get strong. We gotta stabilize that body so that I can be an unrepressed horse girl and have all the horses that I want. Not really, just like 1 or 2, you know, a couple, like for me and a friend, you know. If we're talking about the dream here, which, like, why wouldn't we? Because anyways, I got to go do all of that, make sure that I'm working on stabilizing my body and stabilizing my sleep patterns and sleep hygiene, which who named it that? Who said, you know what, let's call it sleep hygiene? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I mean, maybe it does make sense, and I'm just not, it's not working with my brain, and that's fine. You know, that happens a lot, so it wouldn't surprise me. Anyways, don't unsubscribe because I'm a certified unrepressed horse girl now because I have this shirt. So, yeah, in fact, you should get a shirt and become a horse girl with me and support my dreams. Yeah, because why not, you know? Like, why wouldn't you? If you could, like, why wouldn't you dream if you could, you know? And then why wouldn't you subscribe if you could, you know? Like, why not? Okay, good night.